to the tee here as we take a look at Oliver Goss and Tony Hakula. Goss 1 down to Hakula, who's from Finland, Steve, but goes to Texas. But this is an impressive swing that we saw earlier today as we watched the guys on the practice tee. Goss,
an Australian that did well in last year's U.S. Amateur when he made it to the quarterfinals.
Goss born in England but lives in Australia, as you said.
One of those players, Dan, that when you listen to the ball coming off the club face, it makes a little bit of a different sound than a lot of the other players. Has that very heavy kind of thump to it.
Yeah. But Steve, how does a guy born in Finland earlier at the 16th, Tony Hakula's second at 16, and he's 1 up on the man who lives in Australia, Oliver Goss. Nice little play there. And here is Oliver Goss, born in England, but we mentioned lives in Australia.
And actually came over to college this past January at the University of Tennessee. Started the spring semester, 8 events, 7 top 25s, the second best single season average in school history, a 3rd-team All-American. Spoke to Jim Kelson, the head coach, this morning. He said not a surprise whatsoever. We expected big things, and he delivered.
A little speedy down the hill, moving right.
In fact, has played with Graham McDowell and Adam Scott as well.
At the Australian Masters last year, Adam is his hero. He played well, made the cut, came back and said, "They're awfully good, coach. I got a lot of work to do."
So it's Goss who's down to Hakula here. And Hakula, the British Am runner-up, not surprising as a huge hockey fan, being from Finland. He's got the anchored putter. Oh. So a gift for Goss. And that's how they stand with 2 to play. So Hakula let one get away. Goss has squared it up for the first time since the front 9 at the 6th hole. He's been trailing ever since. Be sure to join. And over at the 15th, Brady Watt and Sean Walsh. Watt is the other co-medalist. We got a couple of par putts here as Watt has built a huge 4-up lead with 4 to play. And Roger Maltby is here.
And certainly Watt has the advantage here. Walsh, both players missed the green. Watt short, Walsh long. And Watt played a wonderful little pitch to within about 2.5 feet. So Walsh has this putt, should move to his right. And you would think he's got to have it and then pray for a little bit of a miracle if he's going to see another hole.
Currently attending Gonzaga. Sean Walsh
spoke to Robert Gray, head coach on the range, and I think they were enjoying the ambience, the atmosphere. This is the first time he has ever played in any match play competition, and going up against one of the best in the world.
Just trying to hang on somehow, some way, but that is over. Brady Watt, the co-medalist, 5-3 winner. He lives in Perth, Australia, 22 years old. We have co-medalists here. I guess it was just a random pick.
I think it is a random computer flip of the coin that determines who becomes the number 1 seed and who becomes number 2.
So Neil Raymond and Brady Watt, the co-medalists.
Watt is the number 9 ranked amateur in the world. So certainly was the favorite in this match.
As we send it again down to Raj.
Thanks, Dan. Congratulations, Brady. Seemingly an easy victory, but a little different golf course today. Really not much wind in any of the qualifying rounds, but today you got some. Tell us how the course played.
I played a lot tougher today. You know, the rough's still up, but you know, the shot making was a lot more vital today. And you know, I don't think I made a birdie today. I just kind of hung around and hit my fairways and greens and toughed it out.
So what would you think going forward you're going to need to do to keep advancing here?
It depends, the conditions. If it's like this, then you just got to lift your game a bit. But if the wind dies down a bit, it depends on how the weather goes, I guess.
Thanks for your time. Nice going. Good luck to you the rest of the week.
Watt, his first USGA event. Moving on, along with the other co-medalist Neil Raymond. And as we go over to 17, Oliver Goss and Hakkila all square after Goss's win at 16.
Wonderful little short par 4 here, Dan. Dog leg left, series of bunkers on the inside part of the dog leg. So a lot of options off the tee for these players. You can play conservatively with less than a driver out to the right. Avoid the bunkers, play to the wide part of the fairway, or it's about a 280-yard carry over those fairway bunkers if you want to try to get it up somewhere near the green, which we've seen some players do today.
In this historic 17, so much history here, and I know, Steve, this is your first visit to the country club, and when you were getting out and seeing some of the holes and you were taking a look at 17 and 18, you're like, it just seems so much smaller.
Oh, it did. When we drove around yesterday, I'm like, this is a green where Justin in the celebration, and then 18 with Payne and Monty at the end. It's just such a small, intimate feeling when you really get on site.
Yeah, it really is. And I remember that afternoon at the Ryder Cup in '99. I mean, there were 40,000+ people out here, and really, as you say, Steve, a very confined area, and it was loud, it was raucous, it was really a lot of fun to be a part of.
Still one of the great sporting events that I have ever been a part of. That momentum on that Sunday was contagious and electric. So there's a look at the card with Goss and Hakkila. As Hakkila again got that 2-up lead at the end of the first 9, but Goss has come back to win the last 2 holes to square it up.
And Gary, he's got 90 yards left to the hole, and again he's got to decide, is he going to flight it and try and skip it back, or fly it all the way back?
Well, being from Australia, I'm thinking he's going to go low and he's going to pull the shot off. Very similar conditions here now to what we see in some of the Sandbelt courses down in Australia. Royal Melbourne comes to mind, Walton Heath, some of those places that, Kingston Heath, that, that type of shot is played quite regularly, that little low wedge shot that takes a couple of skips and a hop and then stops.
What about the lie for Hakkila?
He's got a decent lie, but a really bad angle. This ball could easily kick right off the slope.
The aggressive route with the driver, trying to get it up close to the green, and if you miss the fairway with this hole location, it's going to be hard to get it close.
So advantage Oliver Goss, all square at the 17th.
And Goss does not have the easiest of putts, Gary. This putt will break if he doesn't give it enough speed, and under the circumstance, trying to take control of this match, you just got to commit to a line and then really focus on getting the right speed.
Mentioned Goss, a quarterfinalist at last year's U.S. Amateur. Noda, you had a pretty good run back in '93, I believe, in this championship.
Couldn't quite get over the hump, though. I was a quarterfinalist in the U.S. Am and made 2 semifinals in the Pub Links.
There you go.
Good stroke, good birdie, well played hole.
And Goss is on a comeback trail here. Again, Hakkila was in control. 2 up with 4 to play, and now Goss has a 1-up lead. And Goss with that 1-up lead.
Good driving hole here at 18. Fairway bunker down the left. Definitely in play. Heavy rough on the right.
And right into the teeth of the wind, Gare. Nice swing right down the left center.
Yep, that will stay in the fairway. So pressure now on Hakkila.
And that's not the easiest of carries. That's a 275 carry into the wind.
This one's going left, huh? Gonna carry?
Trying to hang.
All right, gets a good bounce. So 2 good tee shots.
Yeah, those are ripped down the left side.
Very nice.
Well, Gary, when we got to the course, and anybody that hasn't been here in a few years, you think the same thing. If you were here in '99 and even a couple years after that, you can't believe the open vistas. They moved so many trees, and it's kind of opened up things in a similar way as we saw happen to Oakmont Country Club a few years back.
Well, what I like so much, Dan, now is you can actually get to see a lot of the characteristics of the golf course, a lot of the undulations, a lot of the elevation changes. I mean, there's some beautiful rock outcroppings, some grass between club and ball.
Mentioned that Raymond and Brady Watt, the co-medalists, but that necessarily has not translated into success deep into this championship. As you see, the last medalist to win it all was Ryan Moore back at Wingfoot in 2004. A look at the recent medalists and how they fared. Not many have gone very far. Billy Horschel back in 2006, who's carved himself out a nice career so far in his young stint on the PGA Tour. As we go back over to the par 4 18th.
And Dan, don't count Hocula just yet. He's got 131 yards left.
Don't count Hocula out.
Oh,
was there
we
some
get
sort
it.
of
nice.
wordplay there?
Nice.
No, I believe there was.
Just trying to add a little something to the broadcast here.
And we won't say he's so tough you got to drive a stake through him too. Big match.
131, perfect lie. But not perfect execution. This is out to the right.
Late, very late on the release of the club. Misses the green from 131 yards. Not good.
Especially when you're one down. So Goss with an excellent opportunity here to close things out.
And he's 10 yards closer. 121 to the hole.
Like this swing, Dan. Very simple, on plane, short, 3/4 motion. Big, tall guy, but doesn't get the club back very far.
This is on a very good line. It just needs to get to the green.
Oh, can't come up short. Got all kinds of green behind the hole.
So maybe he's let Hocula right back in it.
You have to land the ball on the downslope. You know, we saw Scheffler earlier. If you got it over the green, you got a pretty reasonable chip back down the hill, and you can use the slope to help you.
Noda, what about Hocula?
Hocula has not drawn a great lie. But the thing that he has going for him, as Gary referenced earlier today, is the fact that it is a little bit downhill. So he just needs to gouge it out 3 to 6 feet on and hope that it trickles down to the hole.
Probably when the rough gets this length, Noda, it's really a guess, isn't it? I mean, you're just trying to rely on experience. Certainly in the practice rounds, you've tried to play shots out of this long grass, but it's just a guess how hard you hit it to make it go the distance you want it to. Did you notice there he didn't make the same swing that he made in the practice swings? That one was very short and no acceleration.
Just the final 2 of the 32 matches on this opening day of match play. U.S. Amateur. Hocula 1 down to Oliver Goss. Pretty much must make here for par at 18.
Didn't hit it.
So just 2 putts away for Goss to put it away.
And Gary, these don't ever get easy. You just gotta focus on your routine and just trust the speed.
Like the routine, very decisive. Not much time taken from the last look to when he takes the putter back.
So Goss performs the comeback on Tony Hocula. Remember, Goss was 2 down with 4 to play and ends up with a victory at 18. So just 1 match left, and while that was going on, this was the only other match left as we send it back down to Noda.
Thanks, Dan. I'm here with just won the match. Now, you had a tough time on that second shot there. Did you, Oliver, did you underestimate the wind?
I don't think so. I had 119 yards to the pin, and I thought, a little uphill, a little into the wind, and I hit what I thought was a really good shot. I had probably played another 15 yards on top of the yardage, which I thought was appropriate, and the ball just kind of dropped out of the sky as soon as it got to the peak of its flight, and I really don't know what happened. I thought there might be something wrong with the ball, but it ended up coming like 15 yards short of where I was supposed to be going, but it ended up for the best.
Well, thanks, and good luck the rest of the week. Back to you, Dan.
All right, thank you. Congratulations to Oliver Goss.